Hey everyone, I'm Stana and this video is gonna be about the pros and cons of Vietnam. I'll talk about why you should come here, the advantages this country offers, and why there are also some downsides. Today I'm ready to quickly discuss all the positives and negatives of this country. This is my third time in Vietnam. The first time I visited Phu Quoc Island. If you haven't seen this video, you can click the link in the corner to watch it. Then I visited Ho Chi Minh City, and now I'm in Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam, for 3 months. I want to talk about the less touristy part of this country. Let's do it. Let's start with the fact that Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City are very different. They have different rules. For example, in Hanoi, traffic moves on the right side of the road, while in Ho Chi Minh City, it's on the left. But the biggest advantage of Hanoi is that during the winter months like December, January and February, the weather here is cold. It's just perfect because I come from a European climate and love experiencing all 4 seasons. So having around 20 degrees is like a gift. Let's start with the first advantage and probably the most important one. Vietnam is a very affordable country. Everything here is cheaper than in Thailand, Indonesia or Malaysia. Fruits are very cheap as groceries and you can eat very affordably in cafes or local restaurants. For example, coffee in a cafe costs around $2. Delivery food is very cheap here and the local cuisine is delicious. So I think it's a huge plus if you want to come here for a vacation and you don't have a very large budget. You can feel comfortable here with $1,000 for 2 people. Since I've talked about the first plus, it's time to mention the first minus. For me, a huge downside is the traffic. Both in Ho Chi Minh City and in Hanoi, the traffic on the roads is very congested, with about 80% of the city's population riding motorcycles. But that's not the big problem. The problem is that all these motorcycles hardly ever stop to let pedestrians cross. This wasn't the case in Thailand or Malaysia. There, if a driver sees a pedestrian, they stop, but here they don't care and just keep going. They might slow down, but they don't stop. For me, this is a huge problem because if you want to stroll around the city and relax, you can't do this. You always have to be cautious and watch out so you don't get hit by a bike or a car, even if you're walking in a pedestrian zone. In Indonesia, it's forbidden to ride motorcycles in pedestrian areas. There are poles everywhere. In Thailand, they don't do that at all. It seems like they have rules that everyone follows, and that's right, just like in Malaysia. But in Vietnam, there are no such rules, no rules at all. And if a motorcycle rides in a pedestrian zone, it doesn't matter. It does whatever it wants. I think this is a big problem, just like parking motorcycles in pedestrian zones and turning them into their huge parking lots. The country doesn't do anything to make it comfortable for tourists to stroll around the city. This is a problem because I came to the country to walk around and see the cities, enjoy these moments, because Vietnam is very beautiful and I don't want to ride a motorcycle or drive a car. I want to walk, but here it's impossible. I want to take you on an emotion roller coasters. So from pleasant emotions, we'll move to frustration and then back to pleasant ones. So let's talk about the next positive aspect, the visa system. Vietnam has a very convenient and lenient visa system. Firstly, if you need to apply for a visa, you don't have to gather a lot of documents or make appointments at a visa center or consulate to submit documents and get the visa. You can get the e-visa on the official website. You can get a visa for 30 days or 90 days, which is very convenient. The visa costs $25, and if you apply for a 90 days visa, you can stay in the country for those 3 months without leaving and explore the whole of Vietnam. Unfortunately, when comparing Vietnam to Thailand, Malaysia and Indonesia, none of these countries offer such comfortable visa conditions for such long periods and at such low costs. For example, my husband applied for a tourist visa to Thailand for 3 months and we had to go to the consulate, pay $40 for a 2-month visa. Then after 2 months in Thailand, we went to the immigration center center, waited in line, and paid an additional $55 to extend the visa for 1 month. So, Vietnam's visa rules are very comfortable, and this is a big plus. The next downside is a little. In both cities and on the island, I noticed the country is very, very dirty. But Hanoi wins the title of the dirtiest city. Here, garbage is everywhere. I didn't see as much little in Ho Chi Minh City or on Phu Quoc Island, although there was still a lot. It feels like the people living here don't even see this garbage. They eat in local cafes and then throw all the napkins right next to the tables. And a couple of hours later, you're sitting at the table amidst a huge pile of garbage and everyone is fine with it. But it's the same outside the city center. No one cares about the cleanliness of this city and everyone is indifferent. It's not just disappointing, it's shocking to see. You see it, you smell the terrible odor on all the streets and you're shocked that locals think this is normal. I don't want to speak ill, I'm just describing what I see as it is. If I'm lucky enough for someone from Vietnam or every from Hanoi to see this video, maybe they will think about the ecology of their country. I'm trying to understand why locals do this, but I can't find a single reason to justify these actions. I didn't even make an effort to film you a video with little. I just stepped out of the house downtown and filmed everything I saw on the way to the coffee shop. But I want to end this video on a positive note and say that Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City are very beautiful cities, and Phu Quoc is a very beautiful island with very kind people. I believe that the resort area of Vietnam along the ocean is also equally beautiful. There is some magic in Vietnam that sets this country apart from its neighboring countries. The narrow streets adorned with Chinese lanterns and bright flags, cozy local cafes serving national food, incredible temples, delicious cuisine, stunning nature, all of this makes you overlook the downsides and at least visit here once. But I also want to say that downsides are shocking and disappointing. But despite this, I'm coming to Vietnam for third time. And something inside me tells me that I like it here and I want to come back. I'm sharing this with you. And guys, please don't forget to subscribe and like. See you in the next video.